Okay, that's 3 o'clock on the clock. So welcome again to this Saturday afternoon ongoing meditation class. For those who have come to the introduction to meditation class, that's in the room to my right. This is the ongoing class, and I'll be giving a guided meditation to begin with, and then after about 15 minutes just leaving you to your own resources as you go deeper into the meditation. And because this is an ongoing class, that I just focus on one aspect of meditation and talk about that for the first 15 minutes and then answer questions afterwards. And hope I didn't talk about this last week, so many things happened in my week. But I thought I'd focus today on just what happens with healing in the body, which is part of the meditation, and sometimes some fantastic things happening. Did I talk about that last week? Week before? Week before that? No, good. Okay, because if you follow the instructions and the mind starts to let go of the body relaxes, because the reason why it's tense anyway is because your mind is trying to control it, it's forcing it, it's holding it tight, it won't let it go. But little by little as you meditate, your body relaxes. I focus a lot about relaxing the body at the beginning, but even though that you get to the stage you stop the relaxing part of meditation specifically, and then you go into the relaxing the world of the mind, the emotions, still the body continues to relax more and more and more when you're not paying attention to it. It's as if it's a default state of the body. If you leave it alone, it relaxes. I think that's one of the reasons why that when people get very badly injured, doctors put people in induced comas. In other words, to make sure they stop interfering with their body so the body can do its stuff, healing itself. But anyway, that when the body does become reasonably still, peaceful, you're not involved in it, it starts to do some healing. And because of that, there's certain phenomena occur in meditation which people often ask me about because it's strange and they're concerned about it. They think it's dangerous or it's a weird thing which has happened, what's going on. So it's good that I address this so that people don't need to line up asking me questions afterwards concerning the healing part of meditation on your physical body. So what actually happens is sometimes people, when they are meditating and the body relaxes, they get into their mind and they start to calm down the thoughts, they get into the present moment, and they start getting some joy up in their meditation, watching the breath becomes delightful. Then it's usually at that stage that sometimes people come up and they complain about what they say is hot spots in the body. Their shoulders really, really warm, or it's like their neck is on fire, or they've sort of got other hot spots in the body. And just in one area of the body, not just all over, but just one area of the body. Now, of course, it's quite natural for people to feel hot when they start meditating. It's the same phenomena as you drive your car here, and then you park it, you turn off the engine. Of course, the engine is still hot and warm. It's got to take time to cool off. When you've been walking or just sitting in the reception area, having a cup of tea, talking to one another, of course, your metabolism is much higher than when you just sit here and become physically still. And because it takes a while for the metabolism to calm down to meditation levels, it means excess heat, which is generated from your body pumping blood and burning fuel more than is needed, that is given out by bodily heat. So it's very common when people start meditating, they feel heat when they first start, and that cools down later on as the metabolism adjusts. But there's other times in the meditation, you've been meditating a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, and then suddenly something becomes very hot, especially the localized heat. And that is always associated with some healing going on. And the classic stories behind this, again, I keep using the same stories because these are stories which are very significant and very clear, and they tell you what I'm talking about. One of the first cases was this woman in a retreat who came to see me. She was very concerned because she had this incredible heat in her shoulders and neck, really, really warm. and she didn't know what on earth was causing this. And as soon as she came to see me and asked that question, what's the matter? And that's when I said, when did you have your car accident? You must have had whiplash. And I remember at the time, because it was quite interesting for me, she said, Ajahn Brahm, she put her hands up. I always knew you had psychic powers. I never told you about this. And you knew I had a car accident and had whiplash. Oh, my respect for you has gone up enormously. If I was a bad monk, I wouldn't have actually said what was going on, because it wasn't reading her mind, it was just understanding how things work. Because the most common cause of the neck pain is whiplash, and the most common cause of whiplash is the car accident. I knew that the reason why she had a hot spot in that area was because now the body was doing the healing for her. And I asked the question, I often ask questions knowing the answer. Now, how did you feel afterwards? My neck and shoulders were so relaxed afterwards. So exactly, that's what had happened. There's only so much the doctors, physiotherapy and acupuncture can do to release those injuries and to heal them up. But your body can do that, and it does do that when you relax it enough, get out of the way, and just allow the energies in the body to come to your body's assistance and to heal it. And that so often happens in that particular stage of meditation. The body just becomes hot, just in a few areas of the body. And you know it's a healing because afterwards that part of the body feels so relaxed, so good, so pain-free. The body's done its thing. So if ever during the deeper stages of the meditation you do experience some hot spots in the body, please welcome them. Something really good is happening. And you may think, there's nothing there, I'm not sick. It may be some incipient sickness which the doctor and yourself have not noticed yet, but the body knows what's going on. The body sends all its energy up there and does its stuff, healing that part of the body. So if you ever get hot spots in the body, well done. You've just saved yourself a lot of problems physically. And one of the other things which happens when you're meditating, totally involuntary, your body starts to move. So often people say they're shaking backwards and forwards or leaning back. But sometimes those movements of the body are quite extreme. And the classic story was this woman on again one of my retreats, and I was alerted to her by another meditator who saw her twisting her body around into such a contorted position that she was afraid that she was going to come out and have to go to hospital. She was really twisted and bent during meditation. And so again, I took her aside, asked her, how are you doing? Fine, had a wonderful meditation. I said, did you know you were twisted around? Was I? I didn't know anything about that. I thought I was just sitting normally. And I tried to show her how twisted she was, but I couldn't do that, because if I did, I'd have to go to hospital. No human being can actually do that, I thought. Maybe in Circus du Soleil or somewhere, but some freak in a circus show, but she was a natural person, she did that, and it was weird. And as I was asking her, then of course, I understood what was going on. And I told her, did you have a car accident recently? And she told me about this very, very bad accident which she had in the car, and she was in hospital for weeks or months and was lucky to come out alive. She had so many internal injuries. And of course that answered all the questions for me, because her body had contorted, had actually twisted around without her knowledge, without her intentions at all. It just did it by itself, so that whatever energy was needed to heal those wounds and those whatever else was going on in there, it needed to twist around, it did it, and of course she felt so much better afterwards. So those are just a couple of cases out of many. So if your body just starts to twist around or to move or just goes over to one side, all that really means is your body realizes you have to lean over this way to get the energy flows, open up the channels to actually do the healing where the body knows it needs to be done. So don't worry about it. Don't get, wow, this is weird, this is strange, I didn't do that, what's going on? Am I being possessed by some spirit? No, you're just being possessed by the body's own spirit trying to heal yourself. And you always feel wonderful afterwards. And those hot spots, those when the body starts to move around, that sometimes is where sort of healing happens. But the deeper you get in the meditation, the more powerful it is. I do remember Ajahn Brahm's story, that he was a forest monk in Thailand, a long time ago. In the time when you went into the jungles of Southeast Asia, that everybody got malaria. It was just part of the course. It's like getting a cold here, that everyone gets it, or gets the flu. No real way of avoiding it, you just had to deal with it. And of course, once you have that virus inside of you, that when you get weak, when you get tired, that's when it really hits you again. And for him, that the last time he had malaria, I remember him talking about it. He had this really, really heavy fever again. And so what he did was a very skillful means of going, instead of going away from it, because when you have pain, when you have sickness, the tendency is always actually to move away from it, to try and escape from it. But he used the courage, of a meditator to actually to go right into the center of it. Go into the center of his sickness, this really heavy fever. And eventually he got to what he called the center of this fever. And he said it was like, being in this cool area, and he could sense that all around him was this, just like one of those bushfires they had in Waruna, this incredibly intense fire all around him. And but he was in the cool place right in the center. And he described how that fire got hotter and hotter and hotter, almost unbearable, until it exploded. Gone. And that was the end of his malaria. Never got it again. And it's amazing just how this mind, if it can go into the center of things, the body often does its healing all by itself. And I can't go past a few personal stories as well. It's amazing just how even real sicknesses, which you're not imagining, you really are sick, how you can do the healing for yourself. In one of those cases, I was visiting Canberra to give a series of retreats. And if ever you go to Canberra, it is one of the coldest cities in Australia. And this was a time, I don't know exactly when it was, probably June or July, really freezing. And they were making me work so hard. And of course I got a cold. In the morning, just sneezy. But as the day wore on, not having any chance to get a rest, going here, going there all day, the cold got worse and worse and worse. And when it came to about 6 p.m. in the evening or 7 p.m, I arrived at a temple in Canberra. I was to do a public talk there that evening. 150 people had come to listen to my talk, and I was in the middle of a really bad cold, sneezing, coughing, stuff coming out from your eyes, and even worse stuff dribbling down from your nose. Uncontrollable, felt terrible, should be in bed with a hot water bottle, but I had to give a talk. And all these people had come to listen. What to do? I tried giving a talk for about 5 minutes. But every half in the middle of a sentence you sneezed. You had to start again. And you started to get a train of conversation going, and then you coughed and it all got mixed up again. It was hopeless trying to give a talk when you had a bad cold like that. And so people were getting restless. So that I told them, okay, let's meditate for half an hour, which they all happily did, because it was a hopeless talk. All it took was half an hour of meditation, just to really learn how to relax my own body. And sometimes when you have to, you can. And each one of you think, oh no, you need to be a monk for many years to do this. No. If you really have to, it's amazing what you can do. Really relax the body, make it very peaceful. In exactly the same way I'm going to teach you in a few minutes. You relax, you relax, you relax it. You can feel this itchy nose and this stuff coming down from, and this really irritable throat. And you can feel it all, but you go right into the center of it, right into the very, very center of it. Just not fighting it, but really relaxing it, making peace with it. And it's just half an hour. And when I came out of my meditation, people saw me. Just sneezing, coughing, feeling terrible, a full-blown cold, just come to its peak. There was not a sneeze, not a cough, nothing coming out of your nose. And I can give this nice talk for 45, 50 minutes, ask the questions afterwards. Easy thing to do. And that's what teaches me just how the mind can work with the body's sicknesses. How there's amazing things which you can do once you know how to relax, be peaceful, be still. You feel hot spots. Go into the center of pain or fevers if you've got a really heavy pain or fever. Just go right into the middle, don't run away from it. And you find when you go into those centers, when you relax the body, you go into the hot spots of the body, you find healing happens. You come out afterwards and it's incredible. It's one of the reasons why that people want to try and include meditation, into cancer wards, into sort of anxiety, into other places where people have difficulty gaining relief. And the reason is because it works, it's incredibly powerful. And it keeps people very, very, very healthy. Okay, so that's just a little bit about the health of the body and how you can actually do something. And even I think, was it Burr sent me this, or was it Cecilia, I can't remember which one. Somebody sent a nice email to me a few weeks ago, before the new year. Listening online, like many of you are here, they may be listening today online, and they said they followed the meditation instructions. They were an elderly lady with arthritis. And I think many of you noticed the pain of arthritis and having to take all these really heavy drugs just to get by. And she had this terrible, terrible arthritis, taking all these drugs. She followed my instructions on meditation. And now after I don't know how many months, she's free of all the drugs, free of the arthritis, no pain left at all. And I was really pleased with that. Wow. Because I know from the elderly people who have arthritis just how debilitating that can be for your life. And the drugs are really, really strong. And there a lady overcame her arthritis through this meditation. What a great gift that is. So, it works. So, I don't know if you've got arthritis or just a little headache or a pain in your butt called your partner. Whatever it is, see if we can overcome those aches and pains and get some freedom through this powerful meditation. Okay, so let's go with the meditation now. So if you'd like to get yourselves nice and comfy, and we can begin. Oh. Very good. Oh yeah, the introduction to class, the beginner's class, room to my right there. Very good. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, because we're doing a 45-minute sit here, and that's a bit painful for people who've never meditated before, meditated very little. But when you are here, you can always sit on a chair to meditate. You don't need to always to go on the ground. So here we go, sitting down, close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, bring all of your attention to your body first of all. It's amazing because we have to deal with sound and also sight. We don't have much space left in our brain for feeling our body. With the eyes closed, we become far more sensitive to the physical sensations in our body. And those physical sensations tell you whether you need to move to adjust your body. Okay, for those outside, I think you probably can hear me. A couple of people come late. Introduction to meditation class in the room to my right. Hopefully you hear that. So closing your eyes, feel the body. And as you feel your body, you actually ask a question. Asking a question is the only way you get an answer. The question is, do you need to move? Do you need to adjust? If the question is yes, please do so. Sometimes I do a quick scan through my body. Are my legs okay? This is my bottom. It takes this great weight on between my body and the cushion, just on this interface called the butt. Is it comfortable? Is the back comfortable? Is it too tight, too loose? You get it right at the beginning and you have no problem later. And I notice my shoulders, sometimes they tighten up, I loosen them. Making sure my hands are in a good position. And my head on top of my neck is nicely balanced. And last but not least, I always like to check the muscles around my eyes and mouth. Because if I'm struggling, those muscles tense up. If I'm relaxed at ease, the muscles around the eyes and the mouth are relaxed. It's a great indicator of the amount of fear, anger, or contentment you have. And I give my body as much time as it needs to relax. And that becomes my main purpose at the beginning of the meditation, to get into a comfortable position and develop what the Buddha called mindfulness on the body. Aware of how my body is. And once I've relaxed it as much as I can through physical adjustments, I allow myself to cough and sneeze whenever I want. That way I cough and sneeze less. And once my body is as comfortable through physical adjustment as I can make it, then I go to the refined relaxation of the body. You can feel one area to begin with, which is the most irritating part of my body. The one which has the most ache or itch or even pain. I'm aware of that part of the body. Establish mindfulness on it. Once I have that mindfulness, I get feedback. The mindfulness is like looking at the dial on the dashboard of your car. Like looking at the speedometer. It gives you feedback. You're going too fast or too slow. So you can adjust the pressure on the accelerator. Watching the speedometer, you can adjust it so it's just the right speed. Same the dial in your body, showing that particular area, that part of the body which is painful. What should I do? What is the attitude which relaxes that part of the body? What attitude makes it more tense? The feedback teaches me how to relax. I relax and relax. Now don't let go of that one section of my body until it really is eased off considerably. It may not get rid of the pain totally, but it's really relaxed much more than I could ever have thought possible. Just by this mindfulness, letting go, getting feedback, letting go some more, because what relaxes the body is letting go of both ends of that string which causes tension. Not putting pressure on your body, not pulling it, letting it be. Not fighting, not complaining, but embracing. Those are the attitudes which relax even your body. When one part is relaxed, you go to another part of the body which needs some attention, mindfulness, and some care, letting it go. Feel the tightness somewhere else. Mindfully, you watch it relax, become loose, become comfortable again. You're watching the indicator of tension and ease in a part of your body, and learning from the feedback how to move that indicator down towards more and more ease and comfort. Until that this body becomes delightfully relaxed. I always like people to get to learn the pleasure of relaxation. Peaceful, at ease, is a certain type of pleasure. Because once you can perceive the pleasure of relaxation, the relaxation goes deeper and deeper. Just this much is a great help for healing your body. And once the body is relaxed, we can put our attention onto our mental world. The particular indicator on the dashboard of your mind is your tension / peace. How peaceful is your mind, or how tense does it feel? Just to know that amount, that characteristic of your mind. Not to judge it, but to know it. And to find how you can move that indicator more towards ease, peace, stillness, and less towards tension, tightness, heaviness. It's the same letting go, kindness, embracing, which also relaxes the mind. We're not trying to concentrate the mind, we're relaxing it. in the same way you relax your body. Just using the simile of two people pulling on opposite ends of a rope causes tightness, tension. When you're pulling at your mind with all these shoulds and oughts and musts, that's what creates the tension in the mind. So take away all pressure, all pulling and pushing, all imperatives on your mind. Take them away and let your mind be. And you find it relaxes. And see how relaxed your mind can become. Because the more peaceful it is, the more still. The more still means the lighter the thoughts. When the thoughts have hardly any weight at all, they're easy to let go of. You'll find inner peace. Usually the breath starts to appear, and you can just watch your breathing. All the time just noticing how peaceful, how still you are. And learning just to be kind, not to control. I will now be quiet till the end of the meditation. As usual, I ask you to review your state of relaxation and peace in your mind. How still? And why? What worked? There we go.